Right, we're live. Da-na-na, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, welcome to the Dynasty 5 podcast. It's me doing it today instead of Jeremiah like normal. And welcome to the podcast, Mr. Adam Collins from the Utah Jazz. Are you there, Adam?
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
alive.
how's it going?
And Mr. James Kay from the Charlotte Hornets.
Hey guys.
The only man in this podcast who's actually still in the playoffs.
That's true.
Or was ever in the playoffs?
And the only team remaining... Yeah, yeah, good point. The only team remaining in the playoffs who has not yet lost a game in the playoffs.
So far it's gone pretty well, but I've only played decimated teams, so...
That Brooklyn team was hilarious.
That was potentially the weakest team ever to make the Dynasty 5 playoffs. Unfortunately, sorry to say, Josh, but without Blake Griffin, what was that team? I'm not sure.
I
It's
don't
probably
know.
also the cheapest team to make the playoffs. Like the starting salary has to be under $6 million or something. Like.
He's been posting about this season's free agency all year, hasn't he? He's targeting your guy, I think, right, Mr.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck to him with that.
Yeah, I guess all you need to do is point to the first round matchup.
I fully support Russell Westbrook in a Brooklyn uniform. I think he'll look great. Him and Lance. He
Yeah,
was playing with his best friend, Lance Stevenson.
How is Lance gonna leave Denver?
Oh, did you trade him to Denver?
He's been on Denver for a while, hasn't he?
The best player, the highest rated player on the Nets was Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
He was injured too, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? Maybe he was. Wow.
Yeah, he's
And another...
labor.
It was Ish Smith and Maurice Spates leading the charge.
Dominant. I remember what Josh said that made me laugh. He was down 3-0, and he posted and said, "I've got him right where I want him." Oh man, I read that at work and like, I think water came out my nose. It's so funny. I was drinking at the time. That's why water. Anyway, so Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Terrible shot selection, got selected second in the draft. Could that also be the same for Ben Simmons? Terrible shooter. May also go second.
Hey, I like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and his shot looked really good this year when he played. Actually,
Well,
Really?
better.
he
Not
had a,
really
yeah,
good.
I wouldn't say his shot looked really good, but they will. You know, he could shoot like 35% next year from three.
No way.
Like
He's gotten that much
league
better.
average. Yeah. Yeah, I like him. He's an elite perimeter defender. I love those. I want all my teams to be elite perimeter defenders.
You like Justin Anderson for that reason last year, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I picked him. Yep.
He had amazing athleticism. He still does, obviously.
And Justice Winslow too. He's an elite defender already.
Yeah. So, Ben Simmons. A lot of red flags around him since. I mean, obviously, I've known that I won the lottery for 2 weeks now, and I've been obsessively looking at videos of him and Brandon Ingram, wondering who to take number one. And I still don't. I don't think it's obvious at all. But just before we started recording this, me and Adam were saying that a lot depends on the team that takes him or whoever takes Brandon Ingram in real life. And a player like Ben Simmons, I feel like he's got a personality the same or similar to Kobe Bryant in that he doesn't care if he's a bit of a cancer in the locker room, that he doesn't get along for. He's got his kind of goals set in the long run. He doesn't mind not competing at LSU. And in the NBA, maybe that's not entirely a bad thing. And I can only imagine, though, for that reason, I can only imagine Simmons somehow this draft going to the Lakers at number 2. Whether there's a trade or whether the Sixers take Ingram. For some reason, I can only see Simmons playing for the Lakers. How about you guys?
I hope he goes to the Lakers. I don't really want him on Philadelphia. We had a thread in 720 that was a Simmons versus Ingram thread, and it had a poll, and the results were surprisingly split. We have 11 votes for Simmons and 9 votes for Ingram. So I think you could go either way, and I like Simmons a little bit more. He has put up the most statistically dominant season in college in the last 15 years.
I just think
I don't know.
There are no red flags around Ingram. This is my thing. Whereas Simmons, there are, but Simmons looks like a more naturally gifted, talented player than Ingram overall. But all the red flags around Simmons are really concerning, I think. But are they really positives, is what I was thinking. Like his attitude, his mentality towards the game, clearly at LSU were negatives. Some of the staff and players that he played with at LSU apparently didn't get along with him. He's got all those negatives around him, but he looks like he could be incredible. And he's got a higher floor than Ingram. Sorry, go on.
He looks like he just doesn't give a shit a lot of the time, and if you can not give a shit for an hour and a half during a game, if you look like you don't care when you're on the court, then I just wonder how much of the time he's doesn't care when he's not on the court, and how that would that's my main red flag for Simmons is he just kind of doesn't really play with he doesn't play with a passion, Yeah. And
that's my biggest red flag as well.
That gets teams I don't think he's going to be a real good leader in the way that you see LeBron leading a team,
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe with the right team and the right coach, he could lead a team, but I think he has to want to, and I haven't seen him want to do that yet.
The other thing that's true is that a team like Ingram, a shooting long 3, can clearly fit into any team. Whereas Simmons, if he's not got the ball in his hands and being the distributor, what does he do? A team has to be built around Simmons.
I mean, he's a really, really good rebounder, and he's pretty good at defense too, I'd like to think. And he's a great passer. He's really, really smart. He's got a place. He's got a place starting on any NBA team he was on. I mean, how good his stats will look. I think he can play off the ball reasonably well. I mean, there are a lot of power forwards that have his shot ability and shot range that are very successful in the NBA right now, that he is way more elite than in many other areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he reminds me of Jabari Parker a little bit in the sense that he will not shoot a three-point, but he somehow manages to, Jabari after the All-Star break was still averaging 20 points a game, despite that. I think there's plenty of great players who can't shoot threes. Dwayne Wade's one of them. LeBron as well. You don't want them shooting threes. Yeah. So when you put that in Ben Simmons' body and with his athleticism and stuff, maybe that's not such a problem.
I mean, his shot isn't much worse than LeBron's was at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I find his sort of physical mannerisms, the way when he makes a layup, or when he shoots, it reminds me of Blake Griffin, and that's not a good thing. but I still think he could easily be a dominant player.
He's very one-handed.
Yeah.
So James, what are you
Oh
doing?
well, no. Yeah, James, are you alive, man?
Yeah, sorry.
He's just
That's
like
away from it.
destroying something, like busting up a Schifferobe.
What?
I know. I'm sitting here with. It's feel like almost deja vu. I got It was just 2 years ago. It was me, Utah, and Boston made up the top four, and now it's Boston, Utah, and the Magic. I really like Ingram. I would take
Yeah.
Ingram over Simmons. I think
Yeah,
that
I mean,
you can't
Ingram's
survive
quite.
without a 3-point shot anymore. You can't, like you were saying, D Wade and LeBron. You know they don't have the greatest 3-point shot, but the game's changing, and I think you need that 3-point.
Yeah.
He looks like KD
What does
out
also
there.
strike?
I think that like once teams are built smaller and they play more around the perimeter, that you will like have a team that comes back that like can just beat the shit out of them in the paint and will beat them that way through taking those high percentage shots. Like the only reason that like a 3-point team is winning championships is because they're the Golden State Warriors. Like because they have Steph Curry and he's shooting like he's like an alien. He's doing something that like no one has
Yeah.
ever done before, and like
Yeah.
probably people like aren't going to be doing again. Like the next team that's like good and winning championships isn't going to have a player like Steph Curry on it, and like their team isn't going to be able to look like the Golden State Warriors because of that. I don't think you can play small. I think you can beat them. I think you can beat those teams in the paint. Like the fact that they have Draymond Green specifically that can play the center position when they go small is like what keeps that team together. Because if they had like anyone else right there, they like couldn't play small the way they do and like jack up as many 3-pointers. Like I don't think what the Golden State Warriors do is sustainable.
You don't think there'll be another one afterwards?
Not as good.
Yeah.
I think
Steph
Steph
is
Curry
a
is
one-off.
yeah, he's literally like an alien. He like plays like he's not
Yeah.
a human. Like
Yeah, I agree. It's like he's beyond a video game. You know, I think in 2K17 they're going to have to tailor it so that Steph is somehow kind of different player or something to the rest. I can't believe how quick his shot release is. It's on another level, like you say. What I was going to say about Brandon Ingram is he's 14 months younger than Ben Simmons, and they're already kind of on a par. People aren't sure who's going to be better to take. Can you imagine like how if Brandon Ingram in those 14 months fills out his frame a bit like Giannis has done and like Anthony Davis did, and he continues shooting well, it's just I mean I already think Ingram looks like rookie level Giannis with a jump shot, which is super high praise. And I just never, you know, through all the scouting I've done, I've not seen any red flags around him. And yet, just the natural talent of Ben Simmons outweighs that almost. And I'm just finding it so difficult to make a decision. But that's why I'm going to try and hound you about moving up, Adam. To try and, if I can get the top 2 picks with all my other draft picks and stuff, then I don't even have to make a decision, and that would be very nice.
if you remember the one thread that we had where the Chicago was asking about the history of sim leagues, and they posted that NBA Live League that had the real fancy website.
Oh man, yeah.
So I have a team in that league,
Jealous.
and so I was talking to the other people in the league, and there's probably 7 or 8 people in that league that are from Australia. It's actually it's pretty weird, and none of them know each other apparently. But I've talked to most of them, and most of them do not prefer Simmons and the Simmons versus Ingram debate. And a couple of them said that they have watched him, you know, extensively, and they say that they don't really see Simmons breaking that level because they just really don't think that he's going to ever be able to develop that shot. But
No, I don't think he will. But does that matter is the question. I don't think it does. And all the questions around his attitude, I mean, they're not
I mean,
necessarily negatives.
would you rather have Jabari or Giannis?
Yeah.
Think
Well,
of
I
it
might
that
as well
way.
have a Giannis
Yeah.
because I've already got Jabari. Yeah. Man, I was so thrilled by how Jabari came on in a second this year, but that's another topic for another conversation.
Wait, what was your answer to that? Would you have Giannis or Jabari?
I would go Giannis in that situation because why? Because I've already got Jabari Parker on my team.
Well, I mean,
But,
in a vacuum, which player do you value more as a prospect? Which one would you want to build your team around?
Yeah, I don't know. If that's the question,
Like that's the question.
Yeah.
Which
What?
guy is deserving of the #1 pick?
They both are, aren't they? They could go either way. I mean, if Philly does not pick Simmons, then they've got to trade for a point guard. But this is why I think there'll be some kind of trade happening. Simmons will go to LA. Philly will get... I mean, with Colangelo at the helm in Philly, I just think maybe that first pick is not safe. I feel like they might trade it.
They should trade.
And I feel like
Okafor.
D'Angelo Russell would go to Philly.
See, I was thinking like an Okafor for Russell trade would be cool.
Oh, man, yeah. I could see that happening. Or maybe they'll trade Embiid for Russell.
Like Okafor and Simmons would look really cool together, I think, in the LA.
Yeah, they would. But Embiid, imagine if they paired up Embiid and Simmons. Well, either Philly or the Lakers can do that. In fact, Philly have the better chance of doing that. That's nuts. I mean, if Embiid and Simmons reach any kind of their level of potential, that team is going to be amazing. I hope Embiid wins Rookie of the Year.
So what
Obviously.
teams do you think are going to embrace? So which is the next team that's going to embrace the Hinkie model after watching this happen? And it looks like
I think
that
if
Philly
they
is
do-
so stacked. What team do you think is going to like dismantle it all and do that
Yeah.
next?
I think
Memphis.
if they do,
Memphis.
yeah, Memphis came to my mind as well.
Yeah.
But if they do, they're not going to do it as obviously as Hinkie did it. I think the downfall of Sam Hinkie was that he made it obvious that he was tanking, and the NBA didn't like it. I don't think. I mean, the NBA doesn't have the power to say get rid of him, but they would have. I think they would have put as much pressure as they could have on Philly's ownership and said this is making our league look bad, and that's why Hinkie left when he did. I just
I don't
can't
even
help but
get
think
that
that's the
argument.
case.
I don't think it made the league look better at all. I think it was made it more interesting and brought more attention to the NBA. I don't know.
True.
I mean, I know
Yeah,
people
I
say
can see
that.
that.
I just
Yeah. Yeah, I just get the feeling the NBA doesn't like that being exposed. That the system works that way, but they don't. They don't want to encourage losing ever because it affects how many. I mean, tickets to
they
Sixers
already
ball
do-
games were
they
so
already-
cheap.
They already do a whole lot to discourage tanking. I mean, the lottery, like you only have a 25% chance of getting the first pick. Like all of the other sports
Yeah.
over here in America, like if you lose the most games, you get the #1 pick, and then you get the best player.
Really?
Yeah, like
There's no lottery in baseball.
no,
right?
there's no lottery in
Oh
NFL
man, tanking
either.
must be terrible in baseball.
Well, a
Huh.
little kind.
Is tanking a problem in baseball as well?
No, it's starting to become to be.
Hmm.
Yeah.
well, there's more players in baseball. In basketball, there's that one player that can change the whole thing. So the
Yeah.
tank, I feel like in baseball, it's got to be a lot more difficult. You got to really gut your roster.
Yeah, and in the NFL, you'll see teams tank sometimes, but usually they only do that if there's a really good prospect, like the Colts starting Curtis Painter all 16 games to get Andrew Luck. Like that was the most obvious NFL tank job I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's because, yeah, you're right about roster size. There's 5 men on a court in basketball, If one of them is LeBron James, then you're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to the finals if you're in the East.
Well, yeah, you are. That's like automatic finals. I really hope Cleveland win this year because I think that how good would that be for that city? But because like as a Brit, you know, I don't have any allegiance either way really, but it just seems like that would be good. If nothing else, as charity for our good friends Jeremiah Hill and Charles Barkley. So yeah, the top two picks are still uncertain. It'd be interesting what happens on the 23rd. We should do. I remember last year in 2014, I stayed up all night watching the draft. So I'll do the same this year. I don't stay up all night waiting for Game 7 of the finals unless Boston was playing in 2008. But I do stay up for the draft. I find the draft so entertaining.
It sucks that it's so far away. I like what they've done by allowing players to back out of the draft later than they did before.
I was surprised Melo Trimble did because he was really good.
Wait, he backed out of the draft? I didn't see that. When did he do that?
A week or two ago. His physical measurements in the combine were really bad though, so I think that's why. What were you going to say, Adam? Sorry, I think I interrupted you.
Nothing.
Okay. So, who's going to win the D5 championship this year?
I think if the Warriors don't win it, then the sim is broken and should be scrapped.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, at least LeBron is like, how old is he, 30, 31 now? At least that puts a limit on the number of years we've got to deal with Golden State. Because, like...
I mean, I don't think
team...
I don't think LeBron would play with Steph Curry. I think he leaves.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, in real life, yeah, I can see that happening.
Like, even if they won a championship, like, he would leave.
If I just gotta say though, if OKC makes it out past Denver, that's gonna be a really interesting matchup because you're gonna have Boris Diaw guarding DeMarcus Cousins, whose usage rate is insane on that team. Like, that's got to be that's a huge weakness to start Boris Diaw as your center. I mean, I get that the rest of the team is incredibly stacked, but still, Boris Diaw.
Maybe he'll switch. Maybe he'll switch LeBron. Maybe he'll put Pau Gasol at center and LeBron at power forward to guard Durant, who's playing there.
I mean, LeBron really isn't even a small forward anymore. He needs to play. He's like the perfect NBA power forward. He's like what we imagine. You know, like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons right now is kind of like looks like the same player that LeBron is right now, but he's not going to ever be able to become LeBron at its peak because LeBron, you know, had a shot when they were like winning those rings in Miami. He could like shoot it from outside, but now he's more towards the inside, and he just
I don't know what happened.
Too many shots.
Yeah, his 3-point percentage I think it went down, but he's definitely just not shooting anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even just a 3-point. It's like you look at him and you just know he's not going to take a jump shot. In Miami, he was hitting turnaround jumpers. He was spotting up. It was just it's weird to watch. You just 100% know LeBron is not going to shoot from any distance.
That's actually pretty recent. Like, the biggest fucking problem of the Cavaliers this entire season was, like, LeBron just kept fucking chucking up, like, three-pointers and not making them.
That's fair.
I'm just on checking
like,
LeBron's...
he's playing smarter now in the playoffs, I think. Because he can't shoot them.
4 years ago, LeBron was 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Then it was 38%, 35%, and this year 30%. He's dropped 10% in 4 years.
Yeah.
That's really odd. But there we go.
Yeah, like LeBron would just be like the perfect power forward. Like they should like play. They need to like get rid of Kevin Love. They need to trade Kevin Love for like a real center and just like pound it in the paint and like have like Kyrie and J.R. Smith out on the wings. It would be like perfect.
Yeah, if Cleveland could get a decent big man.
You know, they need to just trade Love for, I don't know, like DeMarcus Cousins or something. That would be awesome.
I wouldn't wish the Sacramento Kings on any player. But I think Boogie's one of the reasons why Sacramento's been limited. I think he's such a prima donna. So many games I've watched him play, and he just starts like
Yeah, he's like a little
moaning.
bit, yeah.
He is. He's like he's the one moaning his ass off, and then he just starts jacking up threes, and it's like, you're a big man. Stop jacking up all the threes, you moron. He's a strange player, spoiled player, and especially like I mean, the Kings' ownership is where the problems start, and there in Sacramento, I think, because like there were all these true stories of like even after Boogie had behaved like a complete child, Vlade Divac and Ranadive, the owner, still were telling George Karl to shut up in front of his teammates, in front of the team, because he's got to be nice to DeMarcus Cousins or he'll leave and stuff. Like, what a massively, ridiculously undermining tactic. Those two have absolutely no managerial expertise at all. Neither of them thought even once before they acted in that situation. Completely undermined the coach. So it's not just DeMarcus, but he is the whole Kings organization's a mess, and it bugs me because I've had Ben McLemore on my team for 3 seasons now, and he's just regressed. And I'm assuming, I mean, he tried to get a trade over this year to get out, and I just wished he had done, because his stats and his performance have just been terrible. And although that can't entirely be blamed on the Kings, I think a lot of it can. I think I just went on a tangent there. We're talking about Cleveland. Sorry.
So, Ian, so you also have the 4th pick and the 13th pick. Are you thinking of who would you be interested to take there, especially there at 4? I know a lot of people have Bender at 3, but then there seems to just be, it's wide open. Like, the guy could go 4th or he could go 10th. So, do you have any clarity there? Yeah. Like
barely thought about it. My first thought was Buddy Hield, because why not complement a young guy like Simmons or Ingram with somebody who already looks like they're going to contribute in the NBA? He's older, and I need a shooting guard, and
You have Mickelmore.
I mean, yeah, but like I just said, oh, you were joking. You son of a bitch. Well, yeah, exactly. McLemore's regressed. Jamal Murray is quite a boring player, but he could so easily kick ass in the NBA. His shot is amazing. He's sort of like your prototypical shooting guard. Chris Dunn could be like a Dwayne Wade player even. Henry Ellison could be a Kevin Love. Jaylen Brown looks like Emmanuel Mudiay. He can't shoot either, but bigger. Marquise Chris looks like Amari Stoudemire. There's so many players. And like Skal Labissiere, I mean, he was the #1 on Draft Express and everywhere to start off the college season this year, and obviously sunk way down low because he didn't put up the stats and stuff. But in some games, Skal looked absolutely amazing, I thought. Like when he played LSU, I watched that entire game against Simmons versus Skal, it was. I thought in that game, Kentucky versus LSU this year, Labissiere played amazing, and if he produces like that in the NBA, then you got a steal there. Deonta Davis is almost exactly the same player as Labissiere. Bender is amazing. I'm only mentioning him now because I'm looking down at Tankathon mock draft. Wade Baldwin, Hurtle. Sabonis could be like his dad. It'd be amazing. Thon Maker is like your amazing sort of energy big, if you know what I mean. He's like Clint Capella. He could be
So
awesome. Demetrius Jackson.
you think Maker is a lottery pick?
Say again?
You think Maker is a lottery pick?
Well, I didn't like Clint Capella, but he perhaps should have been a lottery pick.
Yeah, I like
I
Capella a lot.
wouldn't take a gamble on him at 4, but he could easily go in the lottery, I think.
A lot of people.
Diamond Stone was good.
A lot of people have been
Sorry,
hyping
no.
Chris up for the 4th spot, I think, lately,
Yeah,
saying that
I've
he's
seen that
the
recently.
most athletic person in this draft, and he's got an outside shot, so why the hell is he not the 4th overall pick?
Super
What do you
athletic
think about
stretch
him?
4.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think
Yeah.
about him?
Me or James?
He's asking you.
James, I'm asking James, actually. What do you
I don't
think
know.
of Chris?
Chris, I don't really know anything about this draft because I gave up my pick. I know there's Simmons and there's Ingram, so I'm pretty useless for discussion. Oh, I like Buddy Hield and Murray, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Sorry.
think Marquise Chris. I was kind of grumpy that Marquise Chris is getting so much attention now because for a long time I was thinking, oh, I am so going to pick him up at 13.
Yeah.
And then now he's like shooting up the draft boards, and I'm most upset. So yeah, I don't think he'll drop past sort of 9 or 10. He's really good.
So if you had pick 2 or 1, would you trade down for 3 or 4 picks in the top 10? Like,
No.
would you trade down
I
for
just-
like 5, 7, 9?
No, because I just don't ever do quantity for quality. Also, I mean, after this off-season, my roster's going to be more than full. I've got so many rookies. I'm going to have to trade like a bunch of guys for one player or something like that, just so I can make my roster under 15 players. So I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade for quantity for that reason as well. But I mean, in the like the lottery this year, I mean, maybe it would be sensible to trade down, but I'm not going to do it because I think now that I've finally got the number 1 pick, I'm looking forward to using it. But
Yeah.
Don't trade down.
Like me, my roster's pretty barren. You know, I would. I could
You could
see
totally do that, man.
taking 3 shots instead of just 1. I think
Yeah,
that could be
why not?
beneficial.
Because Jaylen Brown, if he develops a shot, he'll be amazing.
I wouldn't take Jaylen Brown.
No.
No.
Smoke
No.
screen.
No, I definitely don't. I don't like him at all.
Okay.
He's like not good at basketball.
Yes, he is. That's my retort. Yes, he is. I think he's really good, and I definitely consider him at the 4th pick. If I don't trade up, I mean, yeah, maybe we could work out a trade because I would love to get the 2nd pick somehow.
Yeah.
You should try and package your 13 for another mid one, like San Antonio. Probably trade down.
Yeah, I know JR refuses to ever draft players, what he said, right? He's
Yeah.
like,
Did he?
he will even
What?
draft a player and then trade that player. He will never ever draft a player and develop him. He looks. That was like one of his last posts, right?
He hasn't posted for a while, actually, but yeah. I feel like because the rule has
So I've been
been-
like waiting for the lottery because I want to get that pick.
Yeah. I feel like the rule has been like you can only trade 1st-round picks in consecutive years, so that you have some picks, if you mess up your team. But now that teams like San Antonio, who've been waiting for a pick for several years, have a pick, if JR just goes and straight up trades him away during the draft, I think, what the hell, man? Like, you should use this pick. Mind you, his team is kind of built to win now in a way with Millsap and the 2 guards he's got and stuff.
But isn't Millsap expiring? He's not
Yeah,
going to
that's
pick
true.
up that player option for 13 mil.
In fact, Reggie Jackson is expiring as well, I think, isn't
Reggie Jackson will look good in a Nets uniform.
he? Who is not going to join the Nets this season? That's the big question. They're going to do what Pat Riley did in 2010. Going to grab all the superstars in one
That
go.
would be amazing, yeah. I mean, he has Blake Griffin.
And MKG. And Rodney.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the assets to attract free agents for sure. I mean, yeah, I was hoping to get in on the free agent action this year before I have to re-sign my rookie guys who are starting to expire. Because but I mean, that's the problem. I've only got guys who are on rookie contracts. There's no established guys on my team now yet, really, except for Jabari and Kanter. None of the other guys have really solidified their roles yet.
You'll have to overpay by a lot, like I had to for Mirtic.
Yeah, man.
Well, we see what happened with that.
Yeah, this time I'm just going to tell them straight up. I'm going to be like, well, I'll give you more money than anyone else can, but I am going to trade you. But I'll trade you to a good team, you know. I mean, that's the point, right? I give Marcus Morris more money than any other team can give him, and then I trade him later to a team that's winning, and Marcus Morris is happy, and I'm happy.
Yeah, make sure you say that to the player agents. They'll be thrilled.
Yeah, definitely say that.
I mean, I don't know if I offer a player $5 million more a year, and just be like, but I'm going to trade you, but you're going to get an extra $20 million. I think that they might go for it. And then if I trade them for even just one future first round pick, then it's worth it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you really are the Sam Hinkie of D5.
I mean, it's stupid to have the cap space and just sit on it. You have to try to turn it into value.
True. I was thinking, my whole strategy's changed now. I got the #1 pick, but my strategy ahead of this #1 pick. I mean, James, you know how many times. Well, both of you guys know how many times I tried to trade away the Indiana pick.
Yeah.
But my strategy's changed. For a long time this season, I was trying to get a hold of guys like Tyreke Evans. No. Tyreke Evans. I was trying to get off Oklahoma City because A, he was injured, so he would not make me win games this season, so my pick would still be good. B, he's a shooting guard small forward, so when it comes to free agency, he's the perfect kind of complementary piece.
A point guard, really.
Or point guard, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the perfect kind of complementary piece that might, and a veteran as well, halfway through his career at least anyway, who would lure a bigger name free agent. I was trying to get a hold of Tyreke Evans for that reason. Because if you got him sitting on your roster, in conjunction with all the younger guys I got, then that's kind of good free agent bait, I think. But now the strategy's kind of changed.
Yeah, Tyreke in real life is just such he's just so ball dominant that it's hard to start him and have if Tyreke Evans is your ball dominant player, then you're not going to win playoff series,
Yeah.
But he's good. He's the ideal sixth man. He's a point guard. His best years were when he ran point guard in Sacramento, and then his last year when he ran point guard with New Orleans because Drew got hurt, and he played amazing. He had a career year, amazing percentages, and this year he was shooting 39% from three before he got hurt. He's really good, but I don't know how much that three shot will keep up, and I think it was a little bit of a small sample size. And the problem with him is he avoids contact. His free throw rate is really, really low,
Mhm.
and like if you're a player that avoids contact, you're not gonna do well in like the NBA and like big games and clutch situations where you have to like get to like that's what makes Tyreek Evans worse than DeMar DeRozan. They're very similar players, but DeMar DeRozan scores so many points from just getting to the line that he's better than Tyreek Evans, and his teams go to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was just thinking, well, it's not really much of a contribution now, but biggest critic, professional scout, who's a critic of Ben Simmons that I've seen whilst looking around the internet is Jonathan Givony of Draft Express.
Yes,
Uh,
he's but they are paid for by like Waj like owns a lot of that site, and he like has publicly like the guy that writes on Yahoo, and he's like
he owns it.
says yeah, and he like comes out and says that he's like said that he hates Ben Simmons, and so he's like not going to have Draft Express put him number one.
No way! I did not know that was a conflict of interest. That's interesting. I didn't know Waj didn't like him. No Waj bombs. I wonder who was going to win out of Denver and OKC. It all gets decided tomorrow.
I'm worried about the other side of the matchup.
Who would you rather, Toronto or Philly?
I have no idea because unpredictable. Like it's like Al Jeff, Thad Young, Monte, George Hill, Ginobili. I think on paper, Toronto has the better team, but
Yeah.
Philly might be scarier.
Imagine if Toronto in real life had Draymond Green and Al Horford.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
That'd be amazing. Yeah, it's a funny thing with the sim, I think. Like, Philly's got a team of guys who are going to be decreased, but they haven't been yet. so they're still dominant.
I mean, I don't know. Are they really going to be decreased? I don't think Monte or George Hill are really lower than an 80, or Thad Young or Jeff.
Oh, are they only 80? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not.
think they're rated appropriately. They're just killing it.
Yeah. They had a really good season, the second, weren't they? But, yeah, you were way ahead of the East this year, James.
It was a good year.
I mean, our trade negotiations earlier, because, like, I mean, I've given you so many trade offers for Andrew Wiggins. I'm surprised I haven't been arrested yet for harassment. You know, I'm really sorry. The number of, and I think this is the end now. This might be the end of my Andrew Wiggins offers to you. You'll be happy to know.
Oh man.
Yeah, bummer. So yeah, but there we go. I can't remember what my point was now. But given where my team is at now, I think it would be amazing if I could get Andrew Wiggins, because if you could just imagine like Embiid if he pans out, Jabari Parker, Ingram or Simmons, and Wiggins. I mean, at least two of them have got to pan out, right? So, yeah, that was like my ultimate dream.
Yeah. I mean, I like Wiggins, but I wasn't gonna trade him for the 4 and 13. I don't think that would be the smart move.
Yeah, it was a weird season for Wiggins because he.
Would you trade the number one pick for Wiggins?
No. I mean, now that I've got number one, I'm just not going to trade it. I don't think.
Would you trade it for Karl Anthony Towns?
Ugh, I don't know. Probably not. Still, I just feel like.
I'd rather have Karl Anthony Towns than Ben Simmons.
Me too, but
Or Ingram.
It's what also contributes to it is the feeling that I've got, of having drafted a guy at number one, and these guys that I've got, I don't intend to trade him and stuff. Like even Ben McLemore, who's clearly regressed. I'm not going to trade him. because I just want to see.
You
Because
want
it's
to
kind
put
of
your money where your mouth is, yeah.
that, yeah, but it's also
You
kind
want
of
to
like,
back your shit up. Like, you believe in your guys.
yeah, and yeah, there's that. But also they're kind of like, my team's identity is bound up in these players, and if more of them pan out than they have been over the years, as they easily could, then they'll have been with me since the start, and I think that'll be really cool. Like, there's plenty of guys on my team who could easily become really, really good players. I think Jeremy Grant looked so good sometimes this year. He's kind of like Sean Marion or something.
Yeah, I've sent you a bunch of. Hey, if you want to get number 2, he's going to be a part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, for number 2, then that becomes an option. But he said fickly. Yeah. Jaren, I wish I saw more out of Jaren Grant this year. If nothing else, it'd make up for the fact I didn't take Miles Turner instead of him. I can't believe I was on the fence between him and Miles Turner. Miles Turner's just
Miles
killed
Turner
it all
looks
year.
so good.
Yep. Man. Yeah, some of the trade negotiations me and you had, James, where I was trying to get Glenn and Milwaukee to give Miles Turner to you, and I'd get Wiggins and stuff like that. That would have been good.
Yeah, I mean, I like Miles Turner, but I do like Wiggins better.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Oh yeah, one of the things that Jonathan Cavoni said about Ben Simmons was nobody ever questioned Andrew Wiggins' work ethic, not even in high school. Nobody ever questioned his work ethic. Nobody ever questioned that he had a fire, like a tenacity for the game and wanted to get after it. But they're already doing that for Ben Simmons, and they were doing it in high school as well. Because as much natural ability as he has, apparently, according to Cavoni, like, he shies away from jump shots, not just in games, but in practices and shoot-arounds and stuff like that. It's just not a good sign. There's so many red flags. I'm kind of convincing myself to take Ingram right now. But then, whenever I do convince myself to take Ingram, Ben Simmons' just sort of natural awesomeness comes back into it. And anyway, yeah. I need to shut up about them now. Otherwise, the entire podcast will just be taken over by it.
I hope you take Ingram. I think Ingram.
Yeah. Did you see that dunk Ingram did where he jumped over the guy? It was like a Vince Carter sort of dunk of death style dunk.
I didn't see it.
I'm going to Google it. Brandon Ingram dunk. It's going to be the top one. Georgia Southern. That's who he's playing against. Is it this one?
Yeah, Georgia Southern is really shitty.
But it was a hell of a dunk. Like, see Grant's dunk line against, I can't remember the team, but mother of God, that was the most beastly dunk I've ever seen. I wonder if we can play this in the...
Oh, I'm watching the dunk now.
Yeah. I wonder if I can share this on our feed, people.
They called a charge on him. Oh no, it was a block.
Can you guys see this video? Oh, I think I've muted you as well, by the way. You might need to unmute yourself. Dunk of death! Boom. There you go. Did you see it? Did that work? Hello?
Hey, where you? What?
Did that YouTube video work for you? I'm guessing it did not. Okay.
No. Sorry.
Damn, I just totally watched a YouTube video and thought you guys were watching it. Oh, I don't know how to share those bloody things. Oh well. It was an amazing dunk. I'll leave you to look it up. So, okay, let's move on to free agency. Oh, in the meantime, you know Shane Battier of the Bulls of D5, he was doing his thesis on Dynasty 5.
Yes.
He's finished it now. I've asked him whether I can share it with the rest of the league, and I've been reading it. I've read the first 39 pages of 132 pages of this thesis about D5, which is flattering, I have to say. It's like really good. I'm thrilled that somebody's taken the time to write 132 pages about D5. It's amazing. It's really cool. So it would be cool. It would be great if he lets.
What you've done is you've done a really cool thing and kept it running for a really long time.
Ah, thanks, man. This is like my main hobby by far. So that's yeah. So yeah, he did that, and hopefully he'll share it on the forum because, I mean, I'm going to be reading it for a long time on my phone. I think on the train into work and stuff. So I think it's a pretty good read. I've read quite a lot of it already. And he's got his interviews with everybody, and they're really kind of insightful. It's good. So hopefully he'll share that on the forum. The last thing to talk about is free agency. There's a lot of good free agents coming up this year, and potentially even more with all these player options. In fact, the player options make it pretty interesting.
Yeah, I just spent the past 5 to 10 minutes compiling the list of the free agents.
Yeah.
And player options.
Do you guys have spreadsheets like I do at home?
Yep.
Yeah, I've got so many spreadsheets. If you guys at the end of it, I couldn't see how to stop the video from recording, so I start looking around on my desktop. If you look at my desktop, it's just covered in D5 icons, like with all the Python programs I've written, and also the Excel spreadsheets for the draft and everything.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah. So, what's your on your spreadsheet, James?
Well, which one? I have a million of these. The one just now is just all the top free agents sorted by their rating. So we got LeBron, KD make up the top. Westbrook is the third. Yeah. DeMarcus Cousins rated 93, by the way. Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
He's got the player option. CP3 is totally gonna decline his. Kawhi is about to get a huge. Kawhi made $4 million this year, in D5 at least.
It's the end of his rookie contract, yeah.
Yeah. LaMarcus, Jimmy, K-Love is up. Who's going to pay Kevin Love this year?
I'll pay him more than anyone else, and then I'll trade him to a winning team. I'll pay him the max. That's what I'm going to do. I'll go up to him. I'll be like, Kevin Love, if no one else is offering you the max, I will offer you the max, and then I will trade you to a winning team. And I'm sure you'll take it. I mean, it makes theoretical sense. I feel
think Houston might be the biggest shark this offseason. 16 million on the books with Giannis. That's really all he has, but
yeah. I made a ton of trade offers for Giannis this year, and Chuck didn't want any of it because I mean he wants
that contract value is amazing.
Yeah.
He's making less than $2 million a year.
The thing is, if he re-signs Kevin Love and Derrick Rose, he's not going to have any space left.
Yeah, he's got to abandon at least one of them because if he tries to claim their bird rights, that's just going to eat up all of it right away.
Yeah, I don't think he even has bird rights on Kevin Love.
I think Houston, he does.
Houston were the most underperforming team this year. It's amazing that they were 5th from bottom. Really.
Well, honestly, I don't know about that. I don't think that team's that good. If you put that team in real NBA, I don't know how well that team.
I suppose, yeah.
Their best three-point shooter is Mike Miller.
But yeah, after signings, because one of my spreadsheets I've got, crucially, is because there's a lot of teams that have a lot of cap space this year. Like almost everybody does, because it's going up to 90 million. The cap is probably.
It's probably. I think it's going to end up being around 98.
Yeah, possibly.
It like always raise like they
Like-
said like 92, 93 right now, and it always seems to raise by like 4 or 5 million like in the last like during the July moratorium when they're all discussing it, you know.
Mhm.
Like they have their like off-season meetings like July 1st, and then they like decide that's when they decide what the cap's going to be, and then like when they come out like in like a week or whatever, then they announce what the cap is, and it's usually a little bit higher than what everyone thought it was.
Yeah. But what I'm done with this spreadsheet is, like, loads of teams are going to have cap space, but who's going to have cap space after re-signing their own players? So, like, James, you'll have a ton of cap space this year, but after you re-sign Westbrook, and the max you can give him is 26.7 million, you'll only have 3 million cap space left.
Yeah. Well,
so that
I'm
kind
also
of moves you.
I'm looking
you out a
not. If you're trying to get some future assets, you could probably poach them from me for the low price of taking Anderson Varejão's contract,
Yeah.
and or Wayne Ellington, or I don't know, Jody
Wow.
Meeks.
Maybe these Andrew Wiggins trade talks are back open.
Nah.
No, okay.
It's not
Yeah,
worth
I
that
guess-
much.
No. Oh, I see. Verja's only on 7 million. After re-signing and stuff, and after cap holds and all that, there's how many teams have I got? You got Atlanta, Boston, me. So Atlanta, Boston, Brooklyn, Chicago are going to have cap space even after Jimmy Butler. That's if Chris Paul sticks with them. Crucially, the Dallas Mavericks is going to have some cap space this year. They'll be a contender for big name players. The Pacers are, but the Pacers do not have an appealing looking roster at the moment. The Lakers, Kobe's retiring, so they'll have plenty of money even after re-signing Vucevic. Jeremiah's Grizzlies, Blake Bowman's Magic. The
You think the
Sixers are going to
Lakers
have a
are
lot
gonna
of cap
have cap
space. Yeah,
The Lakers got to resign Kemba and Vooch. They're
Kemba
gonna
as
be-
well?
Yeah,
Really? Let's have a look.
he's
Oh
expiring.
yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, rule out the Lakers. And the Kings are going to have a ton of cap space as well.
Well,
And of
you know
course
what I
you'll-
don't like? I don't know, Adam. I saw you commented on this. I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not about that Jeremy Lin trade. Jeremy Lin's totally worth that contract.
No, he is. Jeremy Lin's fucking awesome.
I love Jeremy Lin. I don't know if I would pay him. I don't know if I would want to be paying him $8 million going into the offseason. $9 million, really.
8 million's
Yeah,
good for him.
He's definitely worth that.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, but I'd rather chase some big toys if I was Sacramento with a lot of cap space and Lillard.
I think he will.
Was the shit. Dude, like, I'll offer him, like, $14 million a year this offseason and then trade him to a winner for, like, a first-round pick.
Stop.
It'll work. I'll end up
Rename
trading him
it.
to you, Ian. I'll trade him to you for, like, Jerry and Grant or something. And then
Jeremy
you'll,
Lin.
like, yeah. Then you'll... I'll package, like, a second-round pick. And you'll make the playoffs.
I feel sorry for whoever you sign this year, Adam.
Why?
They're basically like they'll basically leave their suitcases just on their bed and just live out their suitcases because there's no point putting it all in the
if I was
dresser.
a player, all I'm saying is if I was a player, I would do it. You know, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it does make sense technically, but I mean, come on, it's just
Like
silly.
I'll offer Kyle Korver $60 million and
Kyle Korver, the
$15
highest
million
paid.
a year. Yeah, and you know he'll play for my team till December 15th, and
and then boom, get out.
I'll trade him to Indiana for a first.
Do you think Kawhi stays on the Suns?
That's a big question. He's like super high profile player on a team that got eliminated in a sweep in the first round. So, but Dan Marley, he's oil rights, so it's got a good chance of re-signing, I think.
I guess. I don't know. If I'm Kawhi, I don't know if I'm tempted to play on a team with Lou Williams, Taj Gibson, and Zach Randolph in the starting lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I can see that. Who were the free agents most likely to leave their teams? Let's think of that. I mean, technically Russell Westbrook, but since you've done so well this year, you know,
Chris
that's-
Bosh. Evan
Bosh a free
Fournier.
Fournier, yeah.
Tobias Harris.
Kevin Love.
I mean, LeBron, the doubt is, I mean, he got traded. He didn't want to go to Golden State, maybe. But then,
Yeah, he doesn't want to play. LeBron's not playing second fiddle to anyone. Like when he got to Cleveland, he's like, Kyrie Irving, you are my little. You're like, underneath my arm. You're like my little girl. And LeBron is head. And he would want to do that with Steph Curry, but Steph Curry wouldn't have that. Like I don't think in real life. I don't think that would work.
maybe like Shaq and Kobe.
Maybe.
Many egos on one team. Maybe
Who is
Kyrie Irving for Portland. He does not have bird rights. Didn't get past the first round of the playoffs, but then that was because it was against Denver, and both those teams are really good.
I think Inez Cantor might bolt, to be honest. I don't really. I feel like he's. I mean, unless you want to pay him like max money, because that's that's what I'm going to offer him, and then I can trade him back to you.
Well, it is a question with Cantor, isn't it? Because there's the factor that he left Utah because he didn't think they were a very good organization, and went to go join a team that was already winning.
Does Cleveland want to sign Rubio?
What?
Sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking out loud. Does Cleveland even want? I was just looking at the.
Yeah, I think he does. I think I've seen him post saying he does. D Wade in Miami. I mean, I don't know what Troy Bolton has done this year with Miami. I don't think it's very good. I don't think he should have traded LeBron. Even though his team really underperformed this year. Because, like, by ratings, his team was better than Philadelphia, but Philly came second in the East. So I don't know. I mean, even D Wade in Miami has to kind of rethink things if they're doing that badly.
I don't know. I feel like Dwayne Wade will never leave Miami.
But yeah, there's allegiance there. He's got bird rights. Jimmy Butler in Chicago. I mean, what are the Bulls doing this offseason? Almost their entire roster is expiring.
I mean, I wonder if they're going to trade him in real life during the draft.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise
Maybe
me.
for that number 3 pick.
And in player options, you got John Wall in Denver. Lowry in Toronto is probably not going to accept, but he does have bird rights. Because Lowry's earning not much at all, like 11 million, I think.
Yeah.
12 million. Marcus Cousins is earning a hell of a lot of money in OKC, and they're doing well, so maybe Milwaukee's Marc Gasol, but he's been injured all year, so I doubt he would not accept his player option.
I wonder if Markieff Morris will resign with the Knicks.
What did you think about the Knicks trade? They got Drew Holiday for who? Rodney Hood, right?
Yeah. It's an interesting trade.
I like that trade.
Jennings.
Dude, that was like a really good trade for New York.
Yeah, it's like a positive sort of stuff.
Hood too. But I really like Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I think that was a great way for him to, like how you were looking for Tyreek because he's injured. Just grab onto Drew.
Yeah.
He's not going to hurt the tank really.
I mean, Drew played all year until like the last 14 games when he broke his orbital in his eye.
Well, I think that's what
he didn't even get hurt he was on a minutes restriction the whole year, but he was healthy the whole year, and then he got like elbowed in the face. So like Drew is like healthy. He's like good. He played all year for the Knicks. That's why they ended up like 10th instead of like top 3, like everyone thought they were going to be.
He played for the. Oh wait, are you sure? When was that trade? That trade was in March, late March. So basically, Drew played through April.
Well, I remember like Ian said that like Drew Holiday like had to start. Remember, like he like couldn't play him off.
There's some yeah, when it's
Like
just
I
like
remember that.
blatant tanking isn't really allowed. Really. Guys, I'll just be back in a second. One sec.
So Adam, what do you think the Sixers do in real life?
They'd be like stupid not to take Ben Simmons.
Not even with the draft, really. I mean, the trading.
They should trade like Nerlens for Jeff Teague, like I've heard.
I was so down for that as Nerlens' owner.
Nerlens like sucks, dude.
What are you talking about?
So I mean, he's got like he's an absolute like elite rim protector. But like that's literally it.
I mean, he's just good on defense, really. But
He can execute the pick and roll, but like he can't, like his spacing is like he couldn't play next to Okafor. And like it's like hard to find people that like can't play next to Okafor.
Yeah, I mean, but not a lot of people can.
I mean, Nerlens is a player that needs to come off the bench, so like that's what I think about Nerlens.
Sorry, what?
Nerlens is a player that needs to come off the bench.
Oh, what does that even mean? He needs to come off the bench.
I mean, I don't think that he should play more than like 25 minutes a game. I mean, if you do, you're like, well, I mean, it depends on the team, you know. Like he could play like he could fit in like Miami playing like the white side role. Like he wouldn't be that bad at doing that. But
yeah, I think he'd look really good next to Millsap.
Teams that like play that way anymore.
I think he'd look great in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nerlens and Millsap defensively.
Well, he would be there instead of he'd be there instead of Horford.
And I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, that would be fine defensively. You're correct. Defensively, that would be amazing.
I mean, you're a center. You don't need. I mean, he's basically got the skill set of DeAndre Jordan, except he's not as good, or offensively, like he doesn't have the reach,
like,
or
the weight,
or the hops. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But I just meant like in terms of the things that he can't do.
He like
they
can't
do the same things, really. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like can't switch, like, and he like can't, like when every time he tries to like play the 4, he like can't like ice the guy coming inside, and like he can't defend the pick and roll at all.
I mean, he's quick on his feet. I just really think that he suffered from like going from the 4 to the 5, playing next to Jaleel, who's a lot slower. And it's like I don't know how like healthy that has to be on the Philly team, and like they just keep drafting centers, and you're a center. That's got to be, I feel like, disconcerting, or just to play like they're just waiting on Embiid. So like Noel's got to feel not valued at least.
Definitely. They're bringing in Sark from
Good
OKC.
news.
Yeah, they can't
Shane
keep all. They
Battier's
can't.
just, huh?
I was gonna say they can't keep
Shane-
Saric, Embiid. What? Just go on about. What did Shane say?
Sorry, yeah. Shane Battier said, yeah, I can share this thesis of his on the forum, so I'm just going to do that now. It is 132 pages though, so you got a while to read it. But it's really good. I'm really impressed. It's such a good read. It's good to hear what other people had to say as well.
Where are you posting it?
A bit. But I'll do it once we finish this, because it's getting late here anyway. So I might stop it here, guys.
Alrighty.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for coming and doing the podcast, especially if. Okay, cool. I'll see you guys later. Let's hope this did actually record. Thanks, guys. Okay, that'll do. See you guys. Bye.